Hi, it's Esther here, and we're doing another edition of Community Kitchen with Esther and Nathan. So I'll hand you over to Nathan. What's on the menu today, Nathan?
We're baking. This isn't my strong suit, so apologies in advance. We're going to be making some keto cookies with almond meal and artificial sweetener. And we're also going to be doing some Milo cookies, which are not keto, and they've got chocolate and sugar and all the yummy things in them as well. So, keto friendly, non-keto friendly, and we're just going to mix them all up at once, do a bake, and use the oven while it's on. So, preheating the oven to 180 at the moment, or thereabouts. Let's go wash your hands. All right, hands washed. Look, we might have to do some fancy editing there. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mix the keto-friendly recipe first. Because then it doesn't really matter if some of the keto-friendly stuff gets into the sugary, Milo-y, chocolatey mix, but it does the other way. So let's make our keto-friendly ones, and I do have a little cheat sheet here, so that's all right. So first up, as I said, oven to 180. Baking paper onto my scales, and we'll tear those. So for these keto cookies, I need about 90 grams of butter, which is going to be most of what I've got here. I'm using a unsalted cultured butter. Look, sometimes it works better if you use salted butters, sometimes better if you use unsalted. The main difference, apart from the flavour of the salt obviously, can be moisture levels. Salted butter tends to be actually a drier butter with less moisture in it. Something I learned the other day. So that's 90 grams of butter into that one. Into this one we're going to put 125 grams. So we'll put the rest of him in. Start our new packet. Now these, you can see you've got markings every 50 grams. So we've got 10 grams there. We need about another 115. So that's going to be about there, according to Mr. Western Star, who, if I'd love to come on board as sponsors, I can be bought. Happy to take on sponsorship. Alright, close. I think it's more my cutting than the markings on the pack. 103. 128, closer. Alright, that is our butter for both of these. Now, the keto cookies, I'm going to be adding some stevia, and we're going to use half a cup. Love these. Alright, half a cup. Half a cup. Try and make it level. Can be quite a difference between a heaped cup and a level cup. Alright. So it's half a cup of stevia. When you're using an artificial sweetener for cooking, for baking, be careful that it is one that can be heated up. There's quite a few brands that don't bake well. So, yeah, we want to make sure it's ones you can bake with. Just check your container. So we're just going to spread that all over the kitchen. All right, back again after a quick clean up. Put a bit more stevia back in. got a bigger bowl, deeper. So hopefully this doesn't go everywhere. Nice and slow. There we go. That's better. All right, we want to cream these ingredients. So just mixing your sweetener and your butter together until it goes like a whipped butter, whipped cream consistency. My butter may have been a little warm as well, a little cold as well.
I think if I remember right, if I've done these before, it's using a Kenwood bowl.
Yes.
Things don't go astray, which you might need to use for the other one.
May need to. Oh, here we go. Heading in the right direction now.
So what are you looking for?
You want, when you feel it, you don't want to feel any grittiness.
Well, it's going to be tricky with stevia.
Yeah, with sugar at Tesco. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. Now you'll notice this is getting a lot lighter as the air goes into the butter and as the sugar mixes in and the cream's in. So we're almost there.
Now, if you didn't have a mixer like this, you can do it with by hand.
Certainly can. Takes a bit longer. Use a Kenwood, or if you're really fancy, you can use a Thermomix will do it. If you've got to do a couple of grand.
Well, I mean, if you were going to do it by hand, you would use a whisk or a wooden spoon.
Or a hand beater. Egg beaters.
Manual egg beaters?
Yeah, they're fine. Take a little bit longer. There we go. A little bit quieter. Not as grainy, still a little bit grainy, so we'll give this just another couple of minutes of beating and we'll get back to you, okay? Alright, this is all coming together nicely now. See how much paler it is? And that sugar's all mixing in with the butter nicely, or the stevia in this situation. Alright, just wipe our beaters down a bit. As I said, we're just about to go in and do the Milo biscuits in a second. Much the same. Slightly different quantities. Hear the kettle going in the background for a cup of tea. Dishwasher going in the background. Alright, so this is our creamed butter and sugar mix. That's basically how you start off all your biscuits. No licking the beaters. Being COVID aware. Now this butter I'm just going to chop up a little bit before we give it just a quick little nuke in the microwave, just so it's a little bit softer. Make it just a little bit easier. Like 10 seconds quick. While we're there, we'll pull the cover. Plenty of time. So, this one here, we are adding a lot more sugar. 1 cup of caster sugar.
Matches the bowl nicely.
It does. Very colour coordinated. Look at that. Even manages not to get it everywhere. 1 cup, double check.
Yeah, green for the green, red for the red. But does that mean that the Milo needs to go in the green?
It suddenly magically becomes a little less keto.
This is true.
1 cup caster sugar. Alright. And guess what? Same again. Let's start slowly.
Still, I think you need to. apart from the bit that went that way.
Dog and a cat coming to fight over a little bit later. Yeah, it's starting off yellow and all unmixed. By the end of it, it's going to be light and fluffy and creamy and white.
Videoing?
Alright, so about halfway through, it's starting to lighten up and it's all mixing together. So, another 5 minutes or so when this is going to be all nice and whipped and creamed together. So, just creaming the sugar and butter. Alright, this is coming together now. It's like a over whipped cream. Nice and light in colour, not as gritty, beautifully aerated. Alright, that's enough of these guys for the minute. Making sure I'm using different utensils so I don't get sugar in the keto-friendly mix. Alright, so this is our creamed sugar and butter. Alright, to our keto one, we are going to be adding a little bit of vanilla. So a teaspoon of vanilla in these. So it's actually a fair bit. Teaspoon of vanilla. In this one, we add 4 drops. Alright, there, 4 drops. I may have been a little heavy-handed, but it's alright. Mix that in.
Let's drop that.
Edit that.
Always an adventure.
Always an adventure in the Oakes house. I might edit that out. Alright.
Or not.
Or not. Alright, to this we're going to add our almond meal. We're using a nice Australian one. There we go. And 2.5 cups. So where's our cup measure? Where's our cup measure? One cup. Two cups. Alright, and where's my half cup? 1/3. What did I use?
This is a half cup here.
Ah, see? White on white. Need better eyes than I've got. And a half. Very pretty measures, but perhaps a little design flaw in the whole white on white thing. And that's it. That's all the ingredients for these yummy keto cookies. And we just fold the dry ingredients into our creamed butter and sugar, sweetener mix until it makes a nice biscuity dough. I might swap over to a wooden spoon for this. That'll work a bit better. Now what you can add, and what we're going to be adding today, is just a little bit of lemon zest. Will also help the flavour just a little bit, just to give it an extra little zap of flavour. You could use orange zest, lime zest. Go experiment, you know. The worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to end up with some chewy biscuits. Let's go make another batch of. This is mixing together nicely.
So this is more of a crumbly mix. You have to smush it together to get your biscuits.
Yes. Yeah, it is. Yeah, this is not the world's best sister.
No, no.
Yeah, it's alright. Yeah. There we go. And that'll just mix through nicely. Wow, smell it now, beautiful. You could just add a little bit of lemon oil to do the same thing. Beautiful, look at that mixing through nicely. So these, as Esther was saying, a little crumbly. They're more like a shortbread cookie than a moist cookie. So when we're making them into biscuits for baking, you want to make them into walnut-sized balls. And go put them on your baking sheet. Now we'll do that now for this set. So I'm just putting a little bit of baking paper on our oven tray so that they don't stick, or you can just butter and flour a tray. You can do that as well. And we're just going to put our little cookies on there. So about a walnut. Some walnuts are a bit more generous than others. Beautiful. All right, we'll come back in.
One more.
Oh, one more, and then
we didn't see the whole of it being done there. So
and we'll do the magic of video editing.
There we go.
When they're all on the tray. All right, I've actually gone a little bit smaller than we originally did. As Esther pointed out, that would be rather massive and not very diet worthy. So out of that recipe, I've gotten 30 of these little guys. So just keep the camera there, Es. I'll show you what we just do next, just to give them a little flatten. Just a little flatten. Gives them a nice pretty pattern with the fork. Just like you would with shortbreads or yo-yos. And I've turned the fan force off on the oven. So you just want these baking gently at about 180. You do it at 160, 170 if you have the fan force left on. Look, anything between 10 and 20 minutes for baking these guys. Just keep an eye on them. So let's pop these in the oven. Alright, we're halfway there. Living on a prayer. Alright, so round 2, our Milo cookies. So these are a bit more exciting, but these are a bit more exciting. Alright. Now,
not if you're doing a keto diet.
Well, there is that. So, we've got our butter, our sugar, and our vanilla.
Have we got a timer on those other ones?
No, we're just going to keep an eye on them.
He says this.
I do. I will. Now, it wouldn't be Milo biscuits without Milo.
It's got to be made of it.
Got to be made of it. But we have Happy Milo. Ah! I think it's about the one thing my kids have carried on the tradition of in our family. Original recipe for this has 1/4 cup. Lots of comments saying that that's a ridiculously silly amount because nobody puts recommended amounts of Milo in anything. So we're going to put a whole cup of Milo. That seems to be the consensus.
Now, I discovered these yesterday. So this is our first time we've baked these. Can I just say?
If they come out a disaster, it's a shared disaster.
Yep. But Shana from Cloverdale. Now, I don't know if this is Shana's recipe. We pilfered this one off the internet. Made them, and by all accounts, because I didn't have any, they were pretty awesome.
They were pretty awesome.
So, and if you guys out there who might be lucky enough to get a care pack, next week's Neighbourhood House Week. So, we got together at Cloverdale and we've put together a lot of little bags to go out to say hi. We can't have you at the centre, but here's a little something from us. And for those of you who are lucky enough to A, get them, and lucky enough to B, have the Milo cookies, because there's Anzacs, which are good too. And these Milo cookies. So,
all right, 1 cup of self-raising flour.
You don't sift this?
You could, but I'm not. I don't know. Growing up, it was you'd sift it if it was going into a cake. Biscuits, you don't. But you know, you may have been brought up differently, and I might have just been selectively remembering that as well. This is a very sort of different sort of biscuit than what we used to make growing up. So we just
Probably would have sifted differently. But I'm not the chef.
No, you're not. Not tonight.
And I'm not even eating them, so
Yeah.
don't even need to care.
Alright. Now, on that front, on the chocky front,
That's very dry.
it is. Anyway.
I would suggest put an egg into it.
Yeah, we may well experiment and put an egg into it. Maybe a disaster. We'll see. But before we do that, chocolate. So this one, you can use choc chips. What I'm going to do is inside the centre of every cookie.
About a half one, you reckon?
Oh.
I reckon you'll end up disastrously. This is cooking by the seat of your pants.
Always cooking by the seat of my pants. Though I do a lot less baking than I do savoury cooking.
Can you tell?
Can you tell?
I'm having issues.
Alright, let's pop an egg into this. Yes, it does need to be a bit more moist.
Because this isn't going to be a mix like you have for your shortbread, so it shouldn't really be crumbly like this.
One egg.
Ordinarily, you'd probably put it in a bit earlier rather than at this point in time.
No, do dry ingredients first, then wet. Egg goes in last. If you're adding milk, this is where you'd add milk. Always work up to you.
It depends on whether you cream your butter and your... in some recipes, you cream it just you do it with your butter. And put it in later.
I've never had that. Anyway, this
might need a little bit of milk too, I reckon.
No, I think this is getting sticky enough. Where's my scraper? I reckon this. We'll see. The proof, of course, will always be.
Might need to etc. I can see a bit of the egg there.
Yeah. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I've got clean hands. Get a bit messy with this. Oh, this is that's a good consistency.
Oh yeah, it's can start to see it come together now.
Yeah, that's a good
cookie dough.
Good soft cookie dough. Now just remember, I mean, people love eating cookie dough. Cookie dough is amazing, but you just see me add a raw egg in. You know, salmonella's a thing. You know, that's why we cook egg. Just to be safe, to be sure, don't eat raw
Unless you're doing
cookie.
steak and
Well, yeah, but don't eat raw cookie dough if it's got eggs in it. Make a special dough that doesn't have egg. That's what you need to do. Oh, look at that. It's a bit too sticky now. But anyway. Alright, we can bring the tray over here. So, these ones are going to be a little bit more generous. Because we're going to pop.
I say I reckon half of one.
No.
Oh, sorry. He's chucking it in there.
There we go. One. Oh. And these type of cookies are yummy, but when they first come out of the oven, they are amazing. But got to be a little bit careful because these will spread. Your shortbreads won't spread so much because they're a fairly dry biscuit mix.
How long did the shortbreads go in the oven for?
The shortbreads were, I think, 20 minutes according to the recipe. Last time I cooked it, it was closer to 10. So we'll just keep an eye on it until they're just a nice golden colour. So these ones, I'm only going to put 6 on a tray. We'll see how we go. Just end up with big cookies.
I think you're going to end up with a mess, personally.
Maybe.
My personal vote is for half, so we're going to see how this goes.
Well, how about we do this tray with full ones?
Yeah, I think so.
And then we'll do the next tray with half ones.
Because you're going to end up with ginormous cookies.
And you say that like it's a bad thing.
Well,
All right, so tray 1, 6 big cookies. All right. A little bit of space on the edge. All right, and tray 2, we're going to have half cookies. All right, so we'll do a bit of a cut here. We'll wait till the other ones are ready to come out of the oven. All right, we're doing a tray now of the smaller cookies with half a chunk. Let's see how these go.
if you make your hand movements a little slower, I can actually follow it.
Here we go.
Particularly when moving to the tray.
Nice and slow, alright.
Okay, we don't need to. You're smart.
Bunny. I'm
Bunny.
a smart bunny.
Smart something. Yes, let's leave it
Oh,
at that.
don't be like that.
Yeah, that wore off quick. Race that one down.
Yeah. Sticky mix.
Alright. Alright. These are smelling like they're done, apparently.
Yeah, perhaps a little bit overdone for my first batch. Oh, that's too bad.
Not too bad.
And the second ones, I reckon they're just about ready to come out too. That's the colour they should be. That's perhaps a little dark.
You can see the foam. There we go. You can see my shadow, sorry guys. Can't really avoid that at the moment.
So these are the almond shortbready ones.
And now these, the big boys are going to go in, so we're going to see how they roll.
Let's see how the big boys roll.
So how long do you reckon that would have been for the other ones there?
Yeah, 10 to 12 minutes for those guys.
10 to 12? Depending.
Depending. I've got a slightly wider tray. So Esther just shuffles around.
Trying to work out what you're doing. It's
Oh,
very
look, I'm
hard.
trying to work out what I'm doing. This would have been a lot easier to do before there were cookies on this sheet. But anyway.
Well, why do you think easy, right?
Exactly right.
Just fold it.
You could fold it.
Why would you do that? That's just easy.
That's easy, and that's what you suggested. I
Yeah.
can't do that. Just on
It's
principle.
on principle that will not happen.
Oh, don't be like that.
Oh, it's so like that. What happened? Whatever happened to happy wife, happy life goes out the window.
Oh, come on. I'm doing your little half ones. Far more of these than I did your big ones.
They're not mine. I'm not eating them. I'm just suggesting it may be a bit more economical.
Yeah, right. It is a lot more economical doing it this way. Though, we'll see which ones go first. And just
I know which ones will go first. That's not the issue.
I can imagine one of those big ones, fresh out of the oven, hot, gooey centre.
Who needs dinner?
Big dob of ice cream, and that's just dinner
It
sorted.
would be great if we didn't have ice cream.
Oh, if we didn't have someone on a keto diet in the house, I'd much rather get ice cream a bit more often than I do. But anyway, I won't blame you.
Let's not go there.
I'll get plenty of lovely unsweetened yogurt there if you want some.
Can have some with my unsweetened yogurt. See how you like them apples.
Oh dear. Might be a little bit different. Now, we may well end up with one big homogenous mess of cooking at
That
the
could
end of
be
this.
fun.
Well, it'll be fun. We'll see what happens.
We can tell you what not to do. This is not the recipe to use. Cooking adventures. We should relabel this cooking adventures.
As
Or
I explain
misadventures.
to my kids quite often, view us more as a warning.
A cautionary tale.
A cautionary tale than perhaps a direction on which way you should live your life. But anyway, let's give them 5-10 minutes and see how they go. All right, we're just about ready to take the second batch of cookies out. Now, the small ones have cooked a little bit quicker than the big ones, so the big ones just need a little bit longer in the oven. So these have gone very
Flat.
and spread out. We'll see what happens when these cool down and firm up a little bit.
We didn't stick our finger in that one, did we?
Maybe. And come down here and we'll just see the big ones are really big. Oh, angle up a bit. There we go. And they've got just a little bit longer to cook. Yeah, we'll see how we go. We may have mucked around with the recipe a bit too much. We'll see. They do look very yummy.
You ready to burn your mouth yet?
No, because if we even attempt to try and get them, lift them off the paper now, they'll be just too wibbly wobbly. So just got to give them a little time to set and firm up, because they're still very, very warm. But once they cool down a little bit, then they'll be ready. All right.
Press the button.
Small technical interlude there. So we're just going to peel one off, just to, let's have a look at that. Yeah, they're ready to come onto our cooling tray. So again, better without a mitt on my second hand. Make sure your hands are nice and clean. Oh, you know what? These might be the prettiest looking cookies in the world, but you know what?
I have clean hands too, FYI.
We might see if we can find a taste tester. Hey Ben, you around?
Bicky, taste testing time! Oh my goodness.
Plenty of editing to be done.
Now, can you see the size of my biscuits as opposed to the size of those biscuits?
Diet biscuits, not diet biscuits. Though, they're bloody tasty biscuits, I'd like to say.
They are.
Still a very yummy biscuit recipe.
And I was super excited to find it's keto's tricky to get anything that's bready or biscuity. So I'm very excited about this because it's quite often, you know, everyone else can get a biscuit, but I haven't. Biscuits, it's very sad.
You do okay. I've got to say the keto diet's still a pretty yummy diet to live on.
Yeah. It's tricky, but I think it's more tricky from another person's standpoint than what it is to actually live.
Alright then. But here we go. Here's Taste testing.
Alright, give me that.
Alright. This little guy here. Here we go, Ben.
Thank you.
Professional taste tester.
It's hot. Be careful. Any good?
Good, that's good.
Are they as good as the ones from yesterday?
Or better.
We don't mind
We
if
don't mind if actually someone who knows what
because
she's doing.
Shauna's like amazing cook.
Shana does know what she's doing, as opposed to this guy.
It's a bit more caramelly than yesterday, but then again, these are a lot warmer. So,
Oh.
So, see, he's scoffing him too, man.
Quality control. This is only for quality control purposes.
It's lucky he's here to take this one for you guys. So, you could recommend the old Milo cookie?
I can. I mean, it's gone a lot flatter than the ones we were eating yesterday, but
Maybe not having the egg could have worked. So, if you want a flatter biscuit, chuck an egg in.
these are good. All right, guys. Give it a bell.
Cheers.
Cheers. I mean, yeah, give it making a try. It's something to do while we've got some time at home, so give it a go.
Yeah, can't argue with the results.